detached from the body, detached from the body from affection, detached from material joys and all its trappings. Demolish the forts, destroy the cage, break free from velvet dreams. Wandering night, wastrel night, blabbering night, lonely night. Desert the words, their implications. Break the foundations of speculations. If no one is with you, walk alone. If someone accompanies, not a problem. Break free from the rigmarole, accept, embrace a new path. You were wonderful, you were terrific, absolutely fantastic. गुजराती भी आपने ज़बरदस्त इतनी समझ नहीं आ रही थी फिर भी आपने जिस तरह थोड़ी बहुत समझ आती है मगर जिस तरह आपने रेंडरिंग की मुझे सब बात समझ में आ गई फिर आपने हिंदी में बात की वो बहुत खूबसूरत थी वो भी और फिर जो अंग्रेज़ी में बात की तो यू हैव कमांड ओवर 3 लैंग्वेजेस एंड आई रिस्पेक्ट यू एंड एडमायर यू फॉर दैट नाइस टू मीट यू गुजराती मैं बोल चुका हूँ एक फिल्म है वो फिल्म का यहाँ नाम लेना नहीं चाहूँगा थोड़ी सी सीरियस सभा है ये कॉमेडी है वो टोटल धमाल.
There are many movies that you make, you put your heart and soul in it. And often this happens that, you know, the movie is not released. How disheartened do you feel when the movie is not released? Whereas in your case, when you write something, you just decide to release it. So I just want to know a comparison between an actor and a writer. So
I think अनिल की कोई फिल्म नहीं है जो रिलीज नहीं हुई थी.
मैं सोच रहा था.
Skinny, so he didn't want that movie to be released.
That was a film which was released in Telugu, and the film's name was Vamsa Raksham. Okay. And and I think it was this was directed by Mr. Bapu Saab, and the tights which I had worn it for that film, and the film was dubbed also in Hindi called Pyar Ka Sandoor, and but the funny incident was that I thought I have got very good legs, and my legs are like, you know, one of the like उस दिनों में तो हम दारा सिंह जी और इनके बारे में ही सोचते थे रुस्तम हिंद वगैरह तो मैंने समझा कि मेरे भी लेग्स जो हैं या धर्म जी के जो लेग्स थे they're all, you know, so I thought even I am as my legs. And suddenly when I saw the rushes and I saw the film, I felt that what are these two matchsticks? You know, I said such skinny legs I have. So my जो मेरा भ्रम था अपने पैरों के बारे टांगों के बारे में वो उस फिल्म और उस गाने के बाद टूट गया. So that was the funny incident which I narrated. मैं आप आज सीक्रेट बता देता हूँ. मैं रिव्यूज़ पढ़ता ही नहीं हूँ. मैं रिव्यूज़ पढ़ता हूँ फिल्म के रिलीज के 6 महीने या 1 साल के बाद. So what happens is, so somewhere I feel I've got a feedback, genuine feedback from the audience and the people. Not only from my family, but from my friends and well-wishers, and to certain who are not my friends also. तो एक आइडिया मिल जाता है कि फिल्म को किस तरह पसंद किया गया और मेरे काम को किस तरह पसंद किया या नहीं पसंद किया या they are totally indifferent. एक फीलिंग आ जाती है. उसके बाद you are totally detached. You understand? Then I go back to the reviews and read them. So at that moment, I am already working in some other film. तो पढ़ो तो फिर वो it doesn't, तारीफ से भी कुछ फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है और अगर बुराई की है उससे भी कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है. तो कोई बोलते ना ये इतने साल जो longevity का reason क्या है? This is one of the reasons. Sometimes you work with a filmmaker where you know you feel अरे यार ये इतना मंजावा you know filmmaker है तो कहीं मैं गलतियाँ करूँगा तो वो मुझे संभाल लेगा. And then you surrender yourself. And I've always been a director's actor. So my goal is always to make my director happy. कि जो उस वक्त leader है set पर और जो उस वक्त, and film is a director's medium, as I always believe in. I know content is very important, writing is very important. All these are very, very important. कि बिना लिखत के कुछ हो नहीं सकता. Because that's where when you have to sit on a blank paper and write, it's very, very tough. And when you say that you do that and all, but it's not easy. I can't even write one word, and when I have to write a letter or something, or something I have to write, I find it very, very tough. So, and obviously there are certain characters, certain roles, you prep, you research, you work, as you said, my eyes are not, I don't look at, because there are 100 tracks running.
मगर अभी मेरे सामने देखकर बात कर सकते हो.
नहीं, मैं देखना चाहता हूँ, but you're looking very beautiful, huh? I love your sari. I like the jewelry. And everybody over here. Today, all ladies who have come here are very, very pretty. Very charming.
Thank you.
And seriously, honestly. And all have been dressed up so elegantly over here. Everybody over here.
It's this foundation called Ehsas Women.
Absolutely, yeah. I was quite taken aback as soon as I entered. I felt safe.
So you park it somewhere in your subconscious and it helps you somewhere in your art. So everything is about art eventually. What do you think, AK?
Very deep answer you gave. इतना मैं deep हूँ नहीं इस वक्त. Yeah.
एक मजेदार किस्सा मैं अनिल कपूर का सुनाना चाहती हूँ because I think people will love it. He may get a little embarrassed. So
I'm used to getting embarrassed.
So we became friends in the 80s. Okay. And that time there were no mobile phones, they were just MTNL phones. And then he went to shoot South film. Was it Vamsabriksham? I don't know. It was the Mani Ratnam film, Pallavi.
Pallavi and Pallavi.
Pallavi and Pallavi. तो
यहाँ कोई काम नहीं दे रहा था तो मैंने बोला जहाँ से.
Before वो साथिन, you can imagine how young he was. Now also he's young. तो he was away for a long time and he said कि मैं वहाँ जहाँ शूट कर रहा हूँ ना, वहाँ सब कॉटन साड़ी तुम पहनती हो ना, ऐसी बहुत मिलती है, मैं तुम्हारे लिए एक साड़ी लेकर आऊँगा. बिकॉज अभी उसने काम करना शुरू किया था, थोड़ा पैसा मिला था बेचारा, उसमें से माँ बहन दोस्त सबके लिए साड़ियाँ लेकर आने वाला था. तो एक दिन फ़ोन किया मुझे और कहा कि यू डोंट रिमेंबर दिस इंसिडेंट ना, और यू रिमेंबर.
साड़ियाँ से काफ़ी चीज़ें याद आ रही हैं.
हाँ, दूसरी गर्लफ्रेंड्स की सब बात याद आ रही है. कोई बात नहीं, वो तो साइड में रखते
हैं. एक ही गर्लफ्रेंड थी जिससे मैंने शादी की.
वो तो सही है, वो तो सही है. तो उसने मेरे को फ़ोन पे बोला, मैंने कहा अनिल साड़ी अच्छी होनी चाहिए, नहीं तो मैं नहीं पहनूंगी. तो ही सेड इट इज़ दीवार साड़ी. दीवार? So he said दीवार साड़ी it is. So in my heart I thought it will be a brick colored sari with a brick design. Cut to Anil Kapoor arrives in Bombay, gives me the packet. It is haldi yellow. So I am saying इसमें दीवार क्या है? What is the adjective used for दीवार? तू समझी नहीं? दीवार पिक्चर में कैसा है? किसी ने हमको बोल दिया अच्छा है फिल्म, तो भी जब हम फिल्म देखने जाते हैं, क्या कमाल की फिल्म है, क्या कमाल के अमिताभ बच्चन है. ये साड़ी दीवार है, मैंने तेरे को बोला अच्छी है, फिर भी दीवार है. अभी how am I supposed to understand this film example? But his life is full of this.
Yeah. Actually, I sometimes someone asks me where ये एड्रेस कहाँ है, तो मैं हमेशा पूछता हूँ वहाँ आसपास थिएटर कौन सा है. तो बोला कि वहाँ रूपम सिनेमा है. अच्छा वहाँ रहता है तू. अच्छा फिर कहाँ रहता है तू, चेंबूर में कहाँ रहता है, कौन सा वो नटराज सिनेमा. अच्छा जू पे कौन सा, चंदन सिनेमा के PVR के वहाँ. सो एड्रेस अकॉर्डिंग टू द फिल्म. देन आई सेड दिस हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग, ये कब हुआ था, कौन सी फिल्म रिलीज हुई थी. अच्छा शोले के वक्त. ओहो 1975. ओके वो अच्छा वो जूली जब रिलीज हुई थी मेट्रो पे, अच्छा उस साल की बात कर रहा है. देन आई रिमेंबर दैट ईयर. सो एवरीथिंग इज कनेक्टेड. The addresses, the year, and so many incidents are connected. So I've been very, very fortunate that from the time she didn't have any ambition, she didn't know what she was going to do, but I was very sure from the time I came to my senses that I wanted to be an actor, So that was very, very clear. So I've been very fortunate. There are a lot of people whom I met. Some engineer बनना चाहते थे, कोई director बनना चाहता था, कोई क्या बनना चाहता था, कोई scientist, doctor, and ultimately they became actors. But I was very clear from the time thodi soch that I want to be an actor. So I think I know Bhavna since many, many years. So it's more than 40, more than 40. Yeah.
But we both look very young still.
So you look younger.
Please note everybody. Anil Kapoor, I said I look younger.
Absolutely.
May I ask you a question? Bhavna ji, this is your 19th book. Each book of yours is a child of yours. Which is your favorite book? Which is very close to your heart?
Very difficult to answer. I can't pick one book that I like. But I like my book on Lord Krishna, which was called Keshava, A Magnificent Obsession, because I feel the universe is obsessed with Lord Krishna. And in this book, it is about the cosmos, and everything that breathes is obsessed with the deity.
So the first book you wrote was a biography on Amitabh Bachchan, and now on Narendra Modi ji's poems. How difficult is it to translate a book in comparison to writing a biography?
Not just biography. See, there are two kinds of writers. Those who only do translations and those who do original writing. I combine both because I do original writing and I also do translation. When I do original writing, I am a free bird. But when I do translation, I have to abide by the thought of my subject. So when I agreed, or rather I started working on Shri Modi's poetry translation, I had a lot of challenges. The biggest challenge was that it is a male voice. It is a male thought process. And I am used to offering a female gaze. Because when I was younger and when my editor, I would submit my stories, Rauf Ahmad, he would say, "You're too sensitive, I can hear glass bangles in your writing." I could have taken offense and said that this is a sexist remark. I didn't, because that's not how he meant it. He meant it as a compliment. But I was very certain that when I translate Modi ji, his voice and his sensibility will remain the same as it is. I will just work on sculpting the language. So I can't say what is easy and what is difficult. I think writing is difficult, translating is difficult. Every day when I write, I feel कि आज तो नहीं होगा. Every time I have to write an editorial, I feel आज नहीं हो पाएगा. And I always say कि बस कुछ ना कुछ करके हो जाता है.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions which you're going to answer on the top of your head.
No, but ask AK also, no?
I'm going to ask him too.
Launch
Toughest
आपकी
movie
आपने
of
book लगी है. Why should he ask? Should ask
toughest
you?
movie of AK.
Sorry?
Sorry.
Oh, so
Anil.
you ask him Bhavna.
Yeah.
Toughest movie of AK. You ask
No,
Bhavna.
toughest movie of Anil ji that
asking-
you've reviewed.
Oh, reviewed. Okay.
I have started reviewing only in the last decade. I will tell you the toughest movie, according to him as an actor, I would say, or the movie that the character was so complex that it touched me. One is Lamhe, because he's doing two roles in one film. And my favorite, Virasat.
Oh. Did you read her review, Anil ji?
I told you I don't
Exactly.
read reviews.
Okay.
Seriously. I have read a few reviews, but then अब काफ़ी टाइम के बाद पढ़ा है तो धुंधला धुंधला सा है तो मुझे याद नहीं है.
But I remember the reviews that he got. He was superbly praised because Kamal Hassan had done that in the original. And for the South people, Kamal Hassan is God. And he did it with Gemini Ganesh. No?
Shivaji Ganesh.
Shivaji Ganesh.
And I did it with Amrish
With
ji.
Amrish Puri. And everybody said that it was fabulous.
Bhavna ji, which actor among the present actors?
As I said, कि sometimes what happens is, reading the review, as I said, कि I get the feedback from well-wishers, people. So I remember when Kamala Hassan ji saw the film and he said, उन्होंने जब फिल्म देखी तो उन्होंने कहा कि कभी कभी होता ना कि आपकी जब बेटी शादी करती है तो आपको लगता है कि यार ये अच्छे घर में जाए और उसकी शी इज़ लुक्ड आफ्टर वेरी वेल.
Nice.
So he said, I felt that, that my daughter's gone to the right house and has been looked after very well. That's what he said.
This is lovely. So, which actor among the present actors do you see could be second to Anil ji?
Anil Kapoor, yaar.
Anil Kapoor.
I really cannot think of a name. I don't think the present actors have sustaining power the way Amitabh Bachchan, Anil Kapoor have. And I'm not saying this as a cynical remark. You have to be there for 40 years, 50 years, and then we will decide what is the sustaining power.
Lovely. So, who is the film journalist? Anil ji, this is a question for you. Who is the film journalist you think in the present could be second to Bhavana ji? The same question for you.
Present generation mein,
As if they know it.
हाँ.
And as if they know, it's a wrong question, sorry.
Actually because वो connect, it's, you see, पहले क्या था, there was a personal connect.
Exactly.
And today the entire scenario has changed. I'm not saying anything against or for any journalist. The whole idea is completely different. There are so many of them.
Yeah, there's so many of them. And there's
And
not
because
that
of
bond.
social media, even more.
Yes.
And so it's पहले, वो अलग दुनिया अलग थी वो. कैसे बताऊं? It was a different
You
world.
were closely
Absolutely.
connected then.
हाँ, closely connected and
Yes.
still, as she said, that कभी professional जो उनका दायरा होता था वो अलग होता था, personal अलग होता था. तो जो उनको लिखना था, मतलब my friends have written, I feel when I've read the reviews after 1 year या 1.5 साल, दोस्तों ने ज़्यादा बुराई की है मेरी. In a way. Sometimes there are certain films where you felt you've done your best, but sometimes the friends, but one thing good about the friends is, there is our friends who have called me up after 30 years and told me, Aisha, I was wrong. For them to accept, I gave you such a bad review in that film. Actually, you were fantastic in that film.
Yeah.
So it depends, when you're writing, what state of mind you're, what are you feeling, what are your expectations when you're watching the film. Sometimes the expectation is so much that you feel underwhelmed. But when you look back and you see the film or revisit a painting, an art, or something, whatever you have done, a writing, a book, when you revisit it after so many years, you feel, oh, so wonderful. What was I thinking? What was I feeling? Why didn't I like it that time? But now I love it. So anything what you do in life, relationship, writing, films, acting, it has to, what is important, will it stand the test of time? Does it have long legs? कि 40 साल के बाद भी वो गाना लोगों को याद रहे, वो फिल्म याद रहे, वो काम याद रहे, चाहे विरासत हो, 1942 हो, लम्हे हो, परिंदा हो, मिस्टर इंडिया हो, बेटा हो, तेजाब हो, राम लखन हो, लोग याद करते हैं. तो मतलब कुछ तो फिल्म मेकर ने कुछ बात की है, चाहे उसका संगीत हो, चाहे उसका 1-2 सीन हो, कि लोग याद करते हैं, मतलब उसमें कुछ बात है. Even other actors' films, like Dilwale Dulhaniya of Shah Rukh, Amir की कितनी फिल्में हैं, लगान, and so many of his films which he has done recently also, अपना दंगल, great films, fantastic films. 30 साल के बाद भी देखेंगे तो आपको मज़ा आएगा वो फिल्मों में. कुछ गाने हैं जैसे जो जीता वही सिकंदर, पहला नशा. मैं अभी भी गाना लगाता हूँ तो मैं I feel मैं ये गाना अभी बना है. I just love listening to the song, the certain music of Mughal-e-Azam, of so many of the things. So I think what art is that how important does it stand the test of time? That is very important.
Lovely.
And Adil is not just saying about his work and films. When I was the editor of Screen in 2000, one day he called me and he said, "Ke Bhavna, मेरे को पुराने घर जाना है." So he took me with him to his Purana Ghar, which was near Sahkar Cinema. And we went there, we spent time with all the old neighbors, we came back, and then I wrote an article on it. And recently I published it in a book. Then I sent it to him, normal, like one more book I've done. And he called up and he was so emotional about it because he was reading that article where you traveled to your roots after such a long time. And at that time I told him, let's take a video camera. So he said, छोड़ना, खाली photo लेते हैं. Remember?
Bhavana ji, one last question. If you were to write a book on Anil Kapoor, what would the title be?
I will not write a book on him because there is a long queue waiting to write a book on him. He has promised them and they are still hanging. And
Hanging since 20 years.
I think, but the title should be
very
forever.
bad behavior. Very bad. I'm very bad.
No, I don't think you're bad behavior. I think you are a very instinctive actor and an individual. और ऐसे लगता है कि तुमने सबको लटका के रखा है. But you will do the book when you are ready for it. You are not ready. And you should not push it. It will happen on its own. Let it be organic. But the title will be Forever Young.
Lovely. That's amazing. Bhavana ji, 19 books. And we're waiting for the 20th one. Hopefully it's Anil Kapoor. And thank you so much.
आज हमने बोर तो नहीं किया ना आप लोगों को?
Absolutely not.
लंबा तो नहीं हो गया ना? क्योंकि हम लोग क्या बहुत सालों के बाद मिल भी रहे हैं ना, और एक अलग besides there is a certain emotional connect which we have with each other. So there is a possibility that we might have had little stretched few things. So our apologies on your behalf.
Not
also.
at all.
और एक बात मैं बताना चाहूँगी, देखो, whenever you are having a book release and you have called an actor to release it, एक थोड़ा सा टेंशन रहता है, वो टाइम पे आएगा नहीं आएगा, will he be comfortable, not comfortable, will he be enjoying the process, not enjoy the process, will he be able to handle all the questions that Ruhi or somebody like Ruhi is going to put it. But you know, Anil came and he won over the audience immediately. पहले तो चाम फेंक दिया लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर, फिर सबको बोल दिया खूबसूरत हो, तुम्हारे कपड़े अच्छे हैं, तुम्हारे दागीना अच्छा है.
देखो क्या है भावना, you know, I'll tell you what, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं ये एनर्जी के बारे में बात करते हैं मेरी, कुछ लोग चाम के बारे में बात करते हैं, ये बात करें. You can't fake it यार. It has to come from within. मैं फेक नहीं करता हूँ, मैं genuinely I feel it and I believe in what I said. मैं झूठ नहीं बोल सकता. And I meant what I said. I felt good when I entered. I felt happy. I felt positive, you know, when I entered. So वो झलकता है, और मैं जो झलक रहा है, जो मुझे फील हो, मैं क्यों नहीं बताऊँ, क्यों अपने अंदर रखूँ, क्यों? सही बात है कि नहीं सही बात है? हेलो,
पीछे आवाज कर रही है,
कोई बात
खामोश.
नहीं, हम लोग आवाज़ों की भी आदत है.
Thank you.
हम आवाज़ से भी डिस्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होते.
Thank you so much, Anilji. Now I would like to open the floor to questions.
Hi,
Introduce yourself.
I'm Nandita Puri.
Nandita Puri is the wife of Om Puri. She's herself a writer and a friend. Yes, Nandita.
And you mentioned that Anil Kapoor is a very hardworking, very conscientious actor. Now, I want to, in my biography of Om, I had written there that his first batch of students when he taught at Taneja Saab's Actors Studio was Anil Kapoor, Gulshan Grover, Mazhar Khan, Surinder Pal. They were all the first batch. And he said the most sincere of them was Anil Kapoor. You would follow him up to the bus stand, asking him questions, finding out things. And he taught, so, you know, it is there and it shows, and the sustainability is there.
Very nice.
I remember, you know, sorry, can I speak about it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Omji was a very, very emotional and very sensitive and warm and a very innocent and like a child. And he looked very fierce when he wanted to look fierce. He would look very strong, very tough, but basically a very, very soft-hearted person. And I remember he was doing a play in Prithvi Theatre. And I felt, you know, my mom had given me a thin gold chain, very thin gold chain. to wear. So I used to wear that thin gold chain. Must be for luck or whatever, एक पतली सी chain थी. ऐसी कोई, not very ostentatious, very thin. So Anil, मैं ये play कर रहा हूँ. So can I borrow this chain, to play, because I am also like an actor. तो मुझे कोई चीज़ अच्छी लगती है, कोई ऐसा लगता है कैरेक्टर को कर, तो किसी की शर्ट ले लूँगा मैं, किसी की ट्राउज़र ले लूँगा, किसी की घड़ी ले लूँगा. जैसे कि जैकी श्रॉफ की मैंने एक पैंट ले ली थी, जीन्स ली बहुत साल पहले, फिर उसको मैंने कुछ 4 फिल्मों में पहनी है. So we actors are such, कि it's not for anything else, it's for the character. And the most difficult part of acting was, you see, improvisation करना बड़ा आसान होता है कि यार अपने ही डायलॉग बोलो जो भी करेंगे, character improvisation, action problem वगैरह. But the difficult part is doing scenes, and Omji used to teach us scenes. So Omji was the one who, that means scene मतलब क्या होता है, you have to, आपको perform करना in a very structured way. कि ये सीन लिखा हुआ है, अभी ये आप जो लिखा है वही बोलना है, आप अपना ऐड नहीं कर सकते. ये तो कुछ एक्टरों की आदत है ना कि इसने जो लिखा है मैं नहीं बोलूँगा, मैं अपने कुछ बोलूँगा. A lot of actors do that. It's very easy sometimes, because you're saying what you are, जो आपके अंदर से, but structured. So जो scene करना, that is one of the reasons that I could work with such fine writers, because the foundation was laid by Omji. कि scene का एक दायरा अलग होता है, कि आपको जैसे कि जब आदमी गाना लिखता है या तो गाना लिखता है फिर उसको कंपोज करना पड़ता है, मगर आपको उसी दायरे में आपको कंपोज करना है कि लिखा हुआ है उसको मीटर में आपको गाना करना है. तो सीन भी ऐसा ही है कि देयर इज अ सीन, नाउ यू हैव टू कंपोज द सीन, यू कांट चेंज इट, द वर्ड्स हैव टू बी द सेम एंड यू हैव टू डू द सीन. एंड वंस यू मास्टर दैट, देन समवेयर यू फील कि यू नो लिटिल बिट अबाउट द क्राफ्ट ऑफ एक्टिंग. So that's what I learned from Omji, and I would say that. May his soul rest in peace. Sorry, I have to, use this platform to thank him.
Nazi, you were making some observations about the book. I would like you to express that. Nazi is a fierce-looking villain, Ranjit's wife, but Ranjit is a very nice guy. He's not a villain in real life. And Nazi is his wonderful, erudite wife. Yes, Nazi.
Congrats, Bhavna. And I had picked up this book, I think it was about a month back, and I called Bhavna up and I said, Bhavna, I picked up this book. I sent her a picture of it, and I said, I want it signed from you when I see you next. And about the book, I would only say that there are visions. You can see what that man has got in his mind. And it's so elaborate, but you can see his softness also at the same time. I was at the Statue of Unity day before, and I related the book to the Statue of Unity, how he has got everything out what he wants. That was the beauty of it. And what an impressive place that has been made, And I think this book, if you just see, there's something very nice about the frog, in this. I really loved that. That was a very nice one. So we have to think deep. That man thinks deep, Our Prime Minister thinks deep, and I think he's misunderstood also because of that many times. So,
it's very well said, because he writes in his foreword that it is all about self-expression. He's writing because he wants to express himself. And it would be so easy for him in his post and position to say, to not want to be vulnerable, to not want to be transparent. But he is not bothered about how people perceive him. He says, I write today what I feel today, I will write tomorrow what I feel tomorrow. And he reacts and writes about the mountains, the streams, the meadows, the trees, the sun, the moon. In fact, the sun and the moon are recurrent motifs in his writing. And also about relationships, about the country, about social issues, about Gayatri Mantra, kite, garbo, everything is there.
Bhavna ji, I'm Rita.
You want to ask a question?
I do.
Yeah, please.
There's a question, I think there's a
I'm
lady.
Rita here. I have read your critic articles as well as your patronizing articles for years.
Patronizing.
Well, sometimes you have been patronizing to the stars you are writing about. But anyway, I must tell Anil today that we heard the names of many of your movies. Even you took the name of probably your favorite movies. But you didn't talk about Chameli Ki Shadi, Wo Sat Din. Those were beautiful, simple Anil Kapoor in them, who transited towards Dil Dhadakne Do. We cannot forget your performances. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for, of course, वो list काफ़ी, I've been very fortunate, तो list काफ़ी लंबी है. तो मैं, today we have come here to launch the book of poems. मैं पता चला कि अपनी कहानियाँ और अपनी फिल्मों के बारे में बात कर रहा था, इसलिए that's why I just kept a few. But yes, चमेली की शादी and वो 7 दिन are very, very close to my heart. And these are films which are still very much loved. And of course, Dil Dhadakne is one of the new films which people really loved a lot. And as I said, again, Dil Dhadakne Do also, when we were making the film, we felt कि हम लोग काम बात कर रहे थे, देखो कोई कमर्शियल फिल्म बनाते हैं ना हम लोग, तो वो अगर नहीं चलती तो बहुत नुकसान होता है. मगर कोई ऐसी फिल्म होती है जो दिल से बनाई गई हो, it will always have long legs. So Dil Dhadakne Do was a successful film, not that successful. But today it has become much more successful because people still love it. People still watch it again and again. And that's what a true success of a film is. And answering, I want to complete about, what she said about the poems and, the book written by, translated by Bhavana ji. Our Honorable Prime Minister has written. It's, you see, as you say, that you see a different side of him, but this is the human side, the poet side. I had an opportunity and an honor to meet him personally, face to face, room. There was no media, there was nobody around, just both of us sitting. And, otherwise, मैं भी बहुत सालों से काम कर रहा हूँ. I just, I meet him, he meets you as if he's just meeting, as a normal, not as a prime minister, but like a normal person. Anil, तुम कैसे हो? आते नहीं हो? मैंने बुलाओ, मैं आ जाता हूँ. तो बोला आ जाओ. तो तो मैंने बोला, Honorable, I must follow the protocol. So I wrote a letter. I said, can I come? Immediately जवाब आ गया, आ जाओ. And from the office, I was there, sat down, अंदर बुलाया तो मैंने शायद होंगे कोई, absolutely alone. बैठो, कैसे हो? So spoke about films, about humor, and then he spoke about an incident. वो प्यूटन साहब आए थे, तो सोनम भी थी, तो मैंने कहा कि ये मेरे दोस्त की बेटी है, सोनम. So, obviously, I'm not his friend, but for him to say that, So these are these qualities. And when भावना जी ने कहा कि ऐसा ऐसा है, तो मैंने कुछ चीज़ें पढ़ी जो मैंने ट्रांसलेट भी किया. तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये भी है, क्या पढ़ना चाहोगे? Then I could, somewhere identify with that, the fourth one, which about, it's not that I'm like that, but I would aspire to be like that. The more you detach yourself from everything, then only you can give. It's very difficult to detach from wealth, power, and you के कर्म करते जाओ, फल की चिंता मत करो. कि you keep on working. The energy. People talk about my energy. Energy, but look at his energy. It's unreal. Diwali ho, koi bhi त्यौहार ho, he'll be there among the armed forces. He's here, there. He's traveling. कभी इधर हैं तो कभी वहाँ हैं. Like a workaholic, like full energy. कभी आपने देखा नहीं हो कि थके हुए लग रहे हैं. He's always looking fresh and energetic. And that's what I admire. Who's so hardworking and so trying to मुझे भी कोई इतनी ज़्यादा, उन्होंने भी कहा है कि देखो मैं पोएट नहीं हूँ, बट दिस इज़ व्हाट आई फेल्ट. एंड देन हिज फ्रेंड मिस्टर रमेश पारिक एंड दलाल साहब, करेक्ट, सुरेश दलाल जी, तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपने ये लिखा है तो ये लोगों तक पहुंचना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं है कि ही वाज सेइंग कि उन्होंने इसलिए लिखा था, ये स्क्रिबल्ड हियर एंड देयर कि एक दिन ये छपेगा. ही वाज जस्ट राइटिंग व्हाट ही फेल्ट एट दैट टाइम, एंड देन ही वाज सेइंग कि नहीं, इट शुड बी published, and I'm so happy that you translated so that at least हमें इतना language का, you know, like as I was admiring him because he has a master on so many languages. You know, we are still, I'm from Jambur, you know that, no? So I am also a work in progress who's learning and trying to absorb and do things, and so obviously my first language is, because we have studied in English, so our connect is English, you know. So I really loved it. That's the reason what I read. And it's beautiful, absolutely. And thank you so much for giving me this honor to launch this book. Yeah.
Ojas wants to ask a question.
Yes, I have a question. This is very different. I mean, this is not boring at all for me. This is like a kid in a candy shop with life lessons and career lessons. These are two TED Talks happening for me at the same time. So I have a question, and these are very quick questions. One for you, one for him, and one for the both of you. So my first question to you is, I had the absolute pleasure and honor of being in the same meeting with the man yesterday night in Surat. He was in Surat, and so my question to you is, has he read any drafts of this, or have you spoken to him after compiling this or completing this?
So when I met him first before starting on the book, and they called me, I said I wanted to meet him, but I didn't tell the office why I wanted to meet him, so I cooked up some other excuse. And they called me 2-3 times, and it was always on a Thursday or something, which is my screening day. तो मैंने बोल दिया कि मैं नहीं आ सकती हूँ. फिर एक दिन मेरा एक दोस्त वहाँ बैठा था, तो उसने बोला कि if it's from the Prime Minister's office, you can't say कि you are busy. I said, but I'm busy because it's my movie release. It's giving me my salary. तो I think then they called me to Mumbai when he was at the Raj Bhavan, and I translated 5 poems and I gave it to him. So he only had one question to ask me, why did you choose this book? So I told him the reason I had chosen this book. Then as he was getting up to go, I said, I know you're very busy, but make sure that your office informs me whether what I have translated is to your taste, because otherwise I will not proceed and waste my time and your time. So he said, okay. Uske baad the PMO called me up and they said, okay, you can go ahead, he's fine with it. And when the book was released, they sent me many messages and said, ke bahut sundar chhe.
Shun baat chhe. Wow. Question to the man. जो महानायक की हम किताब की बात कर रहे हैं और जिस नायक को हमने स्क्रीन पर देखा है, वो चाहे वो नायक फिल्म हो, जो सिर्फ वो क्लिप, वो इंटरव्यू की क्लिप जो इतनी वायरल गई है, लेकिन डू यू हैव अ पर्टिकुलर बुक, कोई ऐसी किताब है विच यू रिविजिट, भले उसके पन्ने पीले पड़ गए हों, बट इफ यू हैव समथिंग इन योर कलेक्शन दैट यू रीड एंड देन गो बैक टू इट?
गलत सवाल कर दिया यार.
He doesn't have a book, he has a film.
No,
Yeah, or a film.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, इतना भी बुरा नहीं हूँ. No, of course, I definitely read books whom I feel inspired by, motivated by. I've read a lot of biographies, and I read a lot about, and today, obviously the younger generation, people like me are also, there's not one night before I go to sleep that I don't see or watch or read something about people who have not only achieved in cinema, but in any other field, just to motivate myself and just to feel, how fortunate I am. And today I think all of us are very, very fortunate. There are advantages and disadvantages of the social media, of the internet, or the YouTube. But today everything is available not only for you to read, but to watch it and hear it. So I keep on, reading and watching and of so many great people. Not one, but quite a few of them. But especially I love reading autobiographies, biographies, and listening to all these motivational. I was just, latest was about Muhammad Ali. I So I keep on. So as my children also just stop sending these motivational clips to us. I said no, but I'm motivating myself. So I want all my friends and all to see it. I said what is it which what is the center of your the way you are, and how do you achieve, and what is the center, and keep yourself and achieve what you have achieved. I said stay away from nightclubs, sleep on time, stay away from all these, as I said, in that, detaching yourself. And that's what it is. So, these people have sacrificed so much. If you see all the Roger Federer and, these kind of great players and who have achieved world champions and people in any field, चाहे वो politics में हो, leader हो, sports में हो, या art में हो, बच्चन साहब का example ले लीजिए. Look at the way he's led his life. He's so on time, professionalism, committed, It's not, and it's consistent. 10 साल, 20 साल, 30 साल, 40 साल, 50 साल. चलते ही जा रहे, so you get inspired by these people, and so that's what I do. So sometimes it's in real life, people who are living, some people who are not there, I just keep on watching and reading and observing. So ऐसा नहीं है.
This ever evolving encyclopedia that you've become
absolutely
keeps you young.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And
chefs, cooks, women, wives, wives who have looked after their families. I admire them. I appreciate them, I respect them. मैं जाके पाँव छूता हूँ उनके. The way they have, kept the family together. Krishna auntie, Mrs. Raj Kapoor,
And Mrs. Sunita Kapoor also. Inki biwi, if he's eating wrong thing, she will get to know in instinct.
That's a very, very small, it's an important thing, but not the most important thing.
Yeah.
There's so much, just give. What do you believe in? The more you give, the more you get. This is what I believe in. This is what I've learned from these people. कि यार कर्म करते जाओ फल की चिंता मत. Give as much as you can. Double, 10 गुना ज़्यादा मिलेगा. 10 गुना. पर देते रहो. Don't expect. Give. Obviously, it's not easy, but this is what I feel is the right thing to do.
It's very, very inspiring. Thank you so much. And it's just one last, very quick question. I remember the very first time.
दो ही question होता है. अभी दूसरे भी हैं.
One for you, one small question.
Sure.
Yes. I remember the first time
Also
I
very,
met you.
Very strict time. Very
Yes,
strict.
it is.
और मैं आपसे senior actor हूँ.
नहीं, अरे सर बिल्कुल. I remember the first time I met you, and I remember the first time I met him also, in a place not too far away. Do you all remember the very first time you all met?
Of course, I remember. Ek baar kaho, he was shooting, and it was in some recording theatre.
1981, right?
Yeah.
81,
Shooting film release nahi hui thi, and I was friends with Shabana Azmi, and he was curious why we were friends. And then I think I told him that you're from Chembur. I have a friend in Chembur called, whatever is that friend's name. And he said, if you are her friend, then you are very safe.
Okay. Now I request Swati Agarwal to present a token of our reverence and acknowledgement to Bhawana ji and Anil Kapoor ji. So now all good things must come to an end, and unfortunately I have been given the job to close this fabulous session. It was such an invigorating session. I cannot thank you enough for sharing your views and inspiring all of us. But An idea loses its worth without an audience, and we are immensely indebted to you for you guys being such a wonderful and receptive audience. Thank you from all of us at PKF and SAS. I also extend my gratitude towards the media representatives for spreading the word of culture and literature across the region. I would also thank the club and Priyanka Khanna for hosting us for this wonderful session. I hope you guys had a fabulous afternoon just like me and have a great Diwali. Just to let you know that there are books that could be bought right outside and Bhavana ji would be here for the signing. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, we will start with the book signing a little later. May I request all the media to please come forward for a bite with Anil Kapoor and Bhavna Somaya on the book, please. And please restrict your questions to the book only. Like just a special.